Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Roth-Burnette. This video is a quick walkthrough of the small assignments. Those items that I had said are changeable if you need to change them to reflect content that's more career-oriented, or if you just have a preferred way of teaching some of those concepts. So I'm going to walk you through what they are in the first place, and then what I think would be the simplest way to change them. So the first thing in the small assignment category is here in Module 2, and it is the involvement quiz. And even though it's a quiz, it's not a built-in Blackboard quiz. It actually functions as an assignment. You see that the instructions here are for them to take the involvement quiz. I've also included the statement prior to the full class meeting because they may not have to submit the assignment until later, but I want them to take the involvement quiz because that's part of what we'll talk about in class. That link to the involvement quiz takes them off to the involvement quiz with student life. And then they have a series of instructions to photograph or screenshot, click the title above to access the assignment submission, attach the photo or screenshot, and submit the assignment. It's just to show that they took it, and they earn 10 points for that. That assignment, of course, is also related then to Get on Board Day or Organization Takeover involvement credit. The idea being that if they take the quiz before they go participate in the involvement, then they have a better idea of what kinds of organizations they might be interested in looking for. To see more information on this assignment, you can actually just click through it from the instructor view, and there you'll see the due date that I've set for it. That's something that you can change if you feel like yours needs to be different and you're changing your course schedule. There's also a points possible. There's a link there to view the rubric. And so by going in there, just clicking on the title, I am previewing. It just allows me to see what's in there. The second small assignment is in Module 3, which is this module about planning for success, and it is a time management assignment. This assignment makes use of Student Lingo, which is a really good program that the Capstone Center for Student Success has licensed, so it's free to all UA students. It's actually like a little tiny video short course, and it walks students through what to consider when taking a time management plan. They have a little planner that they can actually download and work on there, and it takes them through the steps to create their own time management plan for the semester. And at the end, it gives them a certificate of completion. I personally don't think that I can teach time management any better than they do, because they do a really good job of it. And so it's something that I will probably discuss with students, both in our small groups and in our large class meeting, but I'm giving this assignment for them to do outside of class. Third small assignment is in Module 5, the study cycle, and it is the learning styles assignment. It's another one of those Student Lingo video short courses. My students loved it last year. They really could not stop talking about it because it helps them to identify their learning style preferences, but it then says, and so here are some strategies, and here are things that you can do to adapt the material you're learning to your own preference. It's really actionable, functional material for them, and that again is at Student Lingo. Like the time management assignment, this just really has them completing the Student Lingo item and then uploading their completion certificate. And there's also journaling prompts connected to these assignments. So it's kind of all of a piece. It's all connected. It's not just random extra things for them to do, but every week that there are things that they're supposed to do in the class, I've included those as well in the journaling prompts so that it has a broader relevance for them. The next small assignment is in Module 7, Looking to the Future. It is the mindset quiz, and this is related to the material in this TED Talk by Carol Dweck, who talks about the power of yet and about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So it sends them off to another website to take the mindset quiz and to determine whether they are more fixed mindset or growth mindset or somewhere in between. And then for the submission of that, it just asks them to report on their score, why they think they scored as they did, and what kind of relevance they can build between their current mindset and their ability to be successful in college. Again, I can click the title of that to see more about it. Just for an instructor preview, you can see the due date, the points possible, the rubric, and again, the instructions. The next small assignment is in Module 8, and it again is connected to a TED Talk. There's some material here about grit by Angela Lee Duckworth. Then here's her grit scale instrument that students can actually click through to and use. And again, they're just being asked to submit here their score, why they think they scored as they did, and what kind of relevance they can build between that and their ability to be successful in college. This is also included in the journaling prompt, so it's something that they'll be working with and thinking about in different ways. The next item that is in the small assignments category is found in Module 9, Knowing Yourselves, Focusing on Your Strengths. And this is the 16 personalities assignment. They take a kind of a truncated form of the Myers-Briggs type indicator. And at the end of that, they again report on their results. I'm asking them to actually read the introduction and strengths and weaknesses. So that's a kind of a pointed attempt to have them tie what they learned from that into the specific focusing on strengths topic of this module. And then to dig a little bit deeper about how those strengths are reflected in their life. That again is also reflected in the daily journaling, so it's something that they visit and revisit. As we go through the semester, the little assignments, the small assignments become worth slightly more each time. The first few are worth 10. This is now worth 15 because it's a little bit more involved. The next small assignment is in Module 13. It's a little bit of a jump from 9 to 13, but in between they have other things due, like another involvement credit, their daily journaling, so they're still keeping busy with things. But I found that this particular assignment item, the VIA Strengths Survey assignment, just tied particularly well into the chapters of habitudes that they're dealing with this week, which is why I placed it here. Again, they're linking off to that survey instrument on another website. I also have some language in here to make it really clear that they do not need to purchase anything. They will be offered the opportunity to buy something, but they don't need to buy it to get the basic results. And then again, they're just naming their strengths. They're doing a little bit more reading on the site about how those are described and thinking about how they can harness or lean into their character strengths to help them face stress, to help them in relationships, and be a successful college student. That one, like the 16 personalities, is also worth 15 points. And the very last assignment is in Module 14, which I had already mentioned in another kind of overview video, is really kind of the end of content and instruction before they go away for Thanksgiving and don't come back. So, given this semester. So this I thought would be kind of fun and give them a not necessarily writing driven way to express something about themselves and what they have learned and where they are in their current journey as a college student. And so I have them using Adobe Spark, which is part of the Adobe Creative Cloud that is provided by OIT, free to all students. Just to give you an idea of what that is, Spark is what I used to create all of these kind of images or memes at the top of every module. So if you look through those, you'll have a really good idea of what Spark can do. I'm sure it can do more than that, but that's what I can do with it. And that's about the level of expectation I have for students. And so I'm asking them really to explore a software that I think they need to learn about having access to these resources from OIT, and also just a quick rundown of how to use it. It's really easy to use. And then I'm just asking them to create some sort of project with the image, icon, and text that best express their response to the habitudes, topic, or chapter of their choice. So it's a wide open assignment, and it's just a chance for them to do something that's kind of creative and hopefully fun. This one is actually worth the most points. It's 20 points out of that total 100 for small assignments because it is genuinely more involved than the others. And so now I'm going to show you about what I think would be the easiest way for you to change these assignments if you feel the need to change them. So just as an example, back here in Module 3, let's suppose that I have a different kind of assignment altogether, or a different way of teaching time management that I want them to use. I think that the simplest thing will be to modify what's here, because if you delete it and build something else, then you've got to link the something else you build into the gradebook. And if you want to do that, I will help you do that. I'm happy to help you. But since this is all sort of synced with the gradebook already, the simplest path forward may actually just be to work with what's here and then modify. So I'm going to click the little gray arrow next to the title of the assignment. I'm not going to select delete. I'm just going to select edit. And at that point, I can change the title of this. I can change the title to whatever you want. And then I can come down here. Don't worry, I'm messing with this, but I'm not going to save it. And I can wipe out all of that text, and you can put in anything you want. Links to something, instructions for something, whatever you want to do. You can attach files if you want to. I have not typically found the need to do that, but that option is there for you. The due date is here. So the course schedule that I shared with you tends to have Friday due dates for most things, because I think we'll talk earlier in the week about what's due that week, and then I'm giving them till Friday to finish it. There is the week we were going to have fall break, and there's some due dates that week on Wednesday, which now that we're not having fall break can be moved to Friday, but I'm going to leave that to you to manage and worry about. The possible points here are 10. The way that the gradebook works, if you change the points possible, you can, and that'll automatically be reflected in the rubric, and it'll automatically recalculate within the gradebook, but it will also kind of change the weighted amount for the other assignments, if that makes sense, because the assignments are being sort of chunked in the gradebook into one 10% total area. So I'm probably not explaining that very well, and I can go into more depth with you on that, but it's all set up right now to work out right with the number of points. So unless you just feel the need to like seriously change the points here and then alter them in other places, that's up to you. The rubric for small assignments is already attached. And so if you need to change and use different content, the simplest way would be to just change the title and the instructions, and then of course you'd want to change the journaling prompt and your course schedule to reflect whatever that is that you put in there. And then if you left the rest of it alone, it would continue to interact with the gradebook as it needs to. And if you want to get more into the weeds and know how to do it yourself, fine. And if you want to get more in the weeds and don't know how to do it, I'm happy to help. I'm going to cancel instead of submit because I don't really want to keep the changes I just made, but you would submit to save that. And so that would be my recommendation about how to go forward with those kinds of changes. Thanks.